there for the next several hours and then again tomorrow. But the good news is temperatures are finally cooling off. So we'll talk more about that later. Back to you guys.
All right, Casey, thank you. Crews are assessing the damage after an SUV crashed into the reception area at a Kaiser Medical Center in Porter Ranch. It happened around 12 o'clock this afternoon on Rinaldi Street. The Jeep drove straight through the glass wall of the building and ended up in the lobby. One person was transported to the hospital with minor injuries, but workers say it could have been much worse. The patient waiting facility was only a few feet further into the building.
The receptionist area literally sits right up against the glass that person went through, and there's normally 2 seats for the receptionist to sit at, and then right beyond that, maybe 8 feet. If so, that's the waiting area for our patients.
The cause of the incident is still under investigation. The building now closed for the day, so crews can determine if there's any structural damage.
A mother arrested on suspicion of murder is speaking out from behind bars as the search continues for her 7-month-old son. The child's father is also in custody, accused of murder after investigators say the parents faked their baby's kidnapping.
KTLA's Gene King is live in San Bernardino with the latest developments in the search for baby Emmanuel. Gene.
Hi, Lauren and John. There are new developments in the search for 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro. His parents are behind bars, as you mentioned, on suspicion of murder charges. Even though the boy's body has not been found, he is presumed dead, sadly. As you take a look at this video, this is Rebecca and Jake Haro. These are the parents of baby Emmanuel. They were arrested Friday at their Cabazon home on suspicion of murder with malice. This comes over a week after Rebecca claimed her baby was kidnapped from a Big Five store parking lot in Yucaipa while changing his diaper. She made an emotional public plea for his return, even doing TV interviews. But the couple is now accused of killing their son. In a jailhouse interview, Rebecca maintained her innocence, saying, quote, "I will not give up on my baby," and wishes she was out searching for him. However, she allegedly visited the same Big Five store days before the reported kidnapping, claiming her car was burglarized and asking about surveillance cameras. She reportedly denied all of this in the jailhouse interview. Then on Sunday, Jake Haro was spotted in a jail jumpsuit during a massive search in the Badlands, a remote area near Moreno Valley, about 10 miles from where the baby was allegedly taken. More than a dozen San Bernardino County Sheriff's vehicles and cadaver dogs searched that steep terrain for hours. Jake was present with those investigators, but not part of that search. They found nothing. Now the case has drawn national attention. Authorities conducted extensive searches in Yucaipa and Cabazon, served multiple search warrants at the Haro home, and are reviewing surveillance video. Court records show Jake pleaded guilty to child cruelty back in 2018. Deputies also reported and responded to a new child abuse call involving the Haros just last Thursday. Both are being held without bail. Now back out here live, the Riverside County DA's office will be handling this case. They say if that couple remains in custody and is charged, they could be facing a judge for arraignment as early as tomorrow. Reporting live here in San Bernardino at the Sheriff's Station, Gene Kang, KTLA 5 News.
Gene, thank you for that. The man accused in the violent stabbing death of a Valley Village man has pleaded not guilty to 2 murder charges. Eric Escamilla is accused of stabbing Manny Hedra to death during a break-in at the victim's Riverside Drive apartment in April. During that investigation, LAPD detectives say they also linked Escamilla to an unsolved murder of an 81-year-old woman in Woodland Hills. She was killed during a home invasion in 2022. The suspect is due back in court for a preliminary hearing September 5th.
An Army veteran has been charged in the stabbing of a mother who was walking her 2-year-old daughter at the Westfield Topanga Mall and Canoga Park. Authorities say it was a random attack. 29-year-old Shane Suffren approached the woman in the mall's parking lot Thursday afternoon and told her to give him his baby back. They say he pulled out an AR-15 assault-style rifle and attempted to shoot her, but the gun malfunctioned. He then stabbed the woman in the shoulder as she tried to grab her toddler from the stroller. Suffren is facing multiple charges, including attempted murder and attempted kidnapping. Court records show he was previously arrested on gun charges and has a history of mental illness.
Some relief today for LA homeowners concerned about a series of home burglaries.
The LAPD has arrested a ring of suspects that officials say are responsible for nearly 100 break-ins going back just a few years. KTLA's Rachel Minitoff joins us live in Encino with more. Rachel.
John, Lauren, the 10 people arrested all have prior records and ties to gangs like the Rollin' 30s. Now, these suspects are not believed to be connected to the rash of burglaries here in Encino. And people in the valley say they're certainly disappointed. They were hoping that this large bust applied to crimes in their neighborhood.
The so-called Rich Rollin criminal ring exposed and apprehended. The group, police say, responsible for close to 100 break-ins all over Los Angeles. Their crimes spanned across West LA, Pacific Division, Hollywood, Wilshire, West Valley, and Topanga. Some date back to 2022, but most happened in 2024 and 2025. At a news conference Monday, the mayor, chief of police, and district attorney announced the arrest of 10 of its members, all repeat offenders with known gang ties. The major break in the case came in February when 3 suspects were arrested during a pursuit. Officers recognized their van from a burglary the day prior and then were able to get information about additional suspects involved. LAPD and its partner agencies served simultaneous early morning search warrants on Wednesday the 20th at 8 homes in LA, Hawthorne, Inglewood, and Carson, targeting the prolific burglary band.
We recovered 15 firearms, several reported stolen from residential burglaries, and a large quantity of ammunition in various calibers, high-end bracelets, designer purses, and suitcase and wallets.
Mayor Bass noted that homicides are at a 60-year low and violent crime is generally down.
That's data. That's not necessarily how people feel, and how people feel about their safety is what is critically important, and arrests like the ones that have been made are a major contributing factor to that.
None of the arrests we've learned are tied to the Strino summer burglaries.
We keep hearing that they're trying to all these cases. They have these teams that are working on them, and so we thought there was going to be some fruit reaped from that today, and it just didn't apply to us.
Roy Newaser, the president of the Encino Homeowners Association, says this was a disappointing revelation. He hopes the same investigative tactics used in this major bust are applied to the unsolved crimes out of Encino.
It definitely gives you some hope that they are cracking these cases and solving these crimes. But they also said that some of these date back to 2022, so it could take 3 more years. It could be, 2028 before they solve burglaries that were committed in 2025.
And the DA says the suspects in this larger bust will face a maximum penalty. Those people with prior 1 or 2 strikes could even receive life in prison. That's the latest from Encino tonight. I'm Rachel Minitoff. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Rachel, thank you. We have more coming up on the news at 4.
David Lazarus joins us next. Hey, Laz.